Hi, everybody. Thank you for watching this, in case you're watching live or if you're watching a recording. Today, I would like to discuss something a little bit different than usual. Now, normally I love to discuss technical matters, things that I feel have an expertise that can help me provide some values. But today I want to do something a little bit different. I want to discuss about something that matters to me, that is a little more philosophical. Maybe I wouldn't say it's political, but in a certain sense, it related to it touch the effects that what we do have on the economics. What I mean by this is that today I would like to talk on why our goal is to affect productivity and why I think it's important. Our motto at Strumenta is better tools for better work. What we are trying to do is to provide better tools for people to increase the quality of their work. We do that by helping people moving from a legacy, not so productive language to a more modern language, or by designing domain-specific languages, or by building editors that increase their productivity. These are very different ways to solve effectively the same problem, increasing productivity. But why this? But it's not. Why is this relevant? I think it's not productivity for the sake of productivity. I think that we live in a world where we need to have better productivity, because if we don't, this affects the life of people. In our lives, each of us, every individual, at least in Western society, but I think it's true to different degrees all over the world, every individual wants more things, want access to more resources. We want a nice car, a nice phone, a nice house, nice food, whatever. And so we need a big piece of the pie, right? But for this to balance out, we also need to provide equivalent value. People pay us for this, and we use this to acquire all of these things. And, the bar for what is, let's say, an appropriate life, we can talk another time about consumerism, but the reality we are living is that each of us needs to have more things to feel that they are at least on the average, or they're doing maybe slightly better than their parents. And in order to acquire more things, we need to produce more. But we don't want to do that by working longer hours and spending, 16 hours away from our families or having no free time. And so the only way in which we can contribute more so that we can get more is by being more productive per hour. So I think this is something that as a society we need to do now, as I said. My goal is not to get too philosophical or talk about big system. I'm a very small entrepreneur. It's not my position. But I think that in our little niche, this is what we aim to do. Increase productivity, because this is a way for people to get more. And if we move from people to organizations, and I come from a country where there are a lot of small companies, I think it's essential for companies, in particular for small ones, to increase productivity just to stay on the market. If you don't do that, you just cannot survive. And if you don't survive, this affects the people working with you, also the people that are benefiting from your services. So I think there are some ripple effects, but primarily the people working in your company. And so while it feels abstract to work on the things we do, sometimes I would like, I envy people that are building more concrete things, things that have more obvious value. You know, one of my grandfathers was designing buildings, and then he has a small company. We're building these, apartments, houses, and so on. And when I was a child, I was thinking, oh, this is what I want to do. I want to build stuff. I want to build stuff that is an immediate value. It's concrete. It's obvious that you're doing something. Now I work in a field that is a little more abstract, but I think that even if it's not obvious to see every day the connection between what we do and the effects that it has on the world, I think I'm convinced that in what we do can increase productivity, and increasing productivity is something that make possible for people to have the life that they want to have, keeping the organization alive, first step, and then permitting them to produce more and get more in exchange for that. And that could mean maybe to getting a decent life without having to work extra hours, or if you keep working the same amount of hours, getting more back if you're more productive. So it's a big challenge, of course. We will not solve the challenge of productivity, but we aim, within our limited perimeter, to contribute to improving a little bit the productivity of people that work with us. Sorry if I was a little bit vague and meta. I will go back to technical stuff. Thank you. Bye.